everybody, to another Horror Nights. We got a very special episode for you. We got a few people that we're waiting for. One being, well, the ever charismatic Victor Sin, and then the main guest of the evening. I don't want to mess up the name, but one Mr. Sam Hell. And I screened his movie last night. And I have to say, I am a huge fan now of his work. He did a movie called Exhumed Cadaver Lover, Disfigured Perception. He's got another upcoming film coming called Man of Wolf. Amazing stuff happening. I can't wait to talk about it. Being a fan of necromantic, you know, and that kind of a thing, it's a great homage to the Exhumed Cadaver Lover. And I saw some scenes of it at first before I even got into it. Um, and I was just like, wow, this is something unique, something different, something out there that is not the same, not the norm. And then I reached out and he said he'd come on the show. So yeah, we were just waiting for him, and like I said, Victor Sin. But if you haven't seen Necromantic, I mean, it is a great film. I know it might be disturbing to some, but I mean, you got to think. I mean, this guy writes a story. You got a story about it's a love story, but with a female that I was in love with a corpse. And it's not like your typical, like, you would think sadistic killer kills somebody, has sex with them. No, it's nothing like that. It's different. It's they find these bodies, wherever they were like, I don't know, cleaners or something. And they found the body, just by the river, and then they take it home and then they play with it, and all of a sudden they fall in love with it. And it's like, wow, what is this? What are we watching here? What are we seeing? Because, I've watched a lot of horror movies, a lot of different horror movies. Not very many of them touch on necrophilia as like a passion, as a love interest. A lot of it is, if it happens, it's post-mortem due to like some serial killer, sick, twisted shit. But it's nothing, that tries to make it and portray it in a different light. So, it's very interesting though, like I said. And this movie that he made, Sam here, is a great homage, I would think, to that. And I know he said he wanted to work with Gorge, and I don't remember the story. That's what I'm hoping to get out of him. Did say he was coming on. He is in Pacific time. Hopefully the time transitioned over, but I did tell him 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Maybe Vic is on the West Coast too. I don't even know where Victor went. I actually haven't seen Victor in a few days. But, that's okay. We have a lot of things happening. Horror Nights doing great and wonderful things. I was just watching some other videos as well by some other independent directors. And I have to say, I'm becoming a real fan of the indie market. There's just a lot of juice there, a lot of new stuff, new material, things that, people are thinking outside the box, or people are thinking, even inside, but differently, because they're not thinking with the budget or the effect. They're thinking about just the pop. Here we go. Here's Victor Sin.
What the heck's going on?
What is going on, my brother? What is happening? I am waiting for director Sam Howell to come on and talk about his wonderful film that involves.
Hold on one second. Sweet, close the door. Close the door, sweet. I can't hear. Music's too loud. Thank you. You know it's Christmas, it's holiday party at Sinners Saints. You know the women look forward to this every year, and here I am in a small room because of what? Someone can't keep time, date, time zone. What the fuck's going on?
I got Sam Howell coming on. He said he was going to come on at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 2 o'clock Pacific time, and we're talking about his movie. I keep forgetting what the fuck it is. See, now you fucked me all up. Exhumed Cadaver Lover. I watched it last night, and it's a good homage. It's a good necro film. Not a lot of people are into that, I'm going to reach out again, just to see. But Did you ever end up watching Necromantic?
No, because you never showed it to me.
Yeah, because of the subtitles issue. That's right. I can't. Arrow won't let me screen share, and that's the only place that has it online. If I copy it to my hard drive and show it to you that way, it works. But
Hey, excuse me
can't
for a second. Wait. Hey, what the fuck did I say? Turn off the music. I'm recording. Turn it off.
What do
That's
you
it.
got? Like every
Turn it off.
person in Vermont
Turn
in
it
your
off.
house at one
Turn it
time?
off. That's it. Good girl. Good girl. That's it. That's it. You can understand English. Good job. Won't call ice. Go away.
Jesus, I need to get jolly. I need a Christmas party.
You fund half of this.
Well, I mean, what do you got? Like every person in Vermont in your fucking house?
It's just summer. It's a single life now. It's like someone has to hold down the club, and you hold down your family.
Well, that is true. I did hear that you are officially single.
I'm officially single.
Wow.
I gotta talk. I mean, also this messes up with our Fortnite night.
Okay, he's coming on right now.
Okay,
Sam.
good. Jesus Christ. I mean, I would turn up, but I just, because of, YouTube will ban us, Facebook would ban us if they see what's going on with the camera right now. I have girls coming in and out topless, so this is why I cannot turn on the camera right now.
But we're literally talking about a necrophilia movie. Just to let you know, just to give you what we're going on, the perspective of things here.
What am I supposed to do? Tell the girls go away?
No, I wouldn't say any. Are they alive?
I mean, of course they don't lie. I mean, some of them are on drugs to a point that they look dead, but it's.
Well, I mean, you are in fucking Vermont. You are close to Brattleboro. There's living zombies out there.
Oh, fuck, tell me about it.
But I'm sure that you went to northern Vermont for these girls, or maybe even out of state.
Dude, I just get who I get. I mean, it's known as they work for me. It doesn't mean I have to dip my hands in the cookie jar.
You're having a party. You just have a good time and enjoy it.
I'm more of a babysitter because you know how these women are. When the liquor starts hitting,
what are you gonna do?
kill them all, and then like necromaniac style.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. I mean, a lot of things going on here. Like I said, the guy said he's just parking his car now. I'm on just tight schedule. I just figured because I got.
Hey, how many cookies do you have? That's your fourth? We trying to get fucking fat on me? Just put that fucking cookie down. That's it.
Jesus
Go.
Christ.
Go. I'm not gonna have any fat women here. Jesus Christ. I apologize.
You're discriminating over there,
I'm not
Vic?
discriminating, but I'm trying to get it's like the US Army. You need to be fit. You need to be ready to go. Can't be like stabbing a fourth cookie.
Fucking, they calling you Santa Daddy? What's going on over there? I mean,
They
at
call
some
me
point,
Santa
you
Daddy
gotta
for the
show me.
bonus
At
this
some
year.
point, you have to show me a private video feed.
The things I can show you. And for you to still look at me the same afterwards.
We've been through a lot together, okay?
Yeah.
Things are just getting started. Who knows? But it can't be any crazier than things that I've heard and stories you've told. Well, maybe it is. I don't know.
Oh, I got another story to tell you a bit later.
That's even better. I like stories. I'm a story kind of guy. So I'm hoping to talk to the guests and get some stories, get some details, get some.
I like you. I want to date you. Oh, by the way, I'm pregnant.
But it's not yours, so it's not your problem.
No, but it's like, what's the baby daddy? Oh, he's a piece of shit. Don't worry about him. And I'm so like, but you're pregnant.
Yes, but that happens. So what do you want to do? Abort the baby because the guy's a piece of shit?
No, I'm just like, I'm not going to be touching you because you're pregnant.
Well, I mean, there is that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, this is my point.
Yeah, I mean, there's baggage involved. I mean,
like, you abort the baby just because of me. Then I will really think you're nuts.
Well, you already got two. How many more do you want?
I don't want any more.
Not especially from another guy.
He's so much sloppy seconds. Fuck that.
I mean, if you have to step up to the plate as a secondary dad working into a family, that's one thing. But I mean, the baby isn't even born yet. You're saying
No, I was like, she
he'll
didn't.
put your name down on the certificate.
I know. Or be like, I need money for this. I need money for that. I need money. I need money. I need money.
Welcome, Sam.
How's it going? Ooh.
How is it going? You know, I have to say, I didn't get to watch all the films yet, but I did watch the one that I was meaning to watch. And that, I don't, like I said, I don't want to get names wrong because my memory's always shot. But
Excuse me, real fast, Sam. It's really nice to meet you. I would put on my camera, but I have women going in and out here. And if Versace said that you like dead women, not live women, so I should turn off my camera.
Not at all. I'm married to a live woman.
Okay, that's good.
Exhumed Cadaver Lover, though. I have to say, you know, this movie, what a great film. What a great homage. What a great tribute. What a great just concept. Not a lot of people touch and play with that idea. Either they're afraid that it's going to get too far and people are going to get grossed out, or they're just not interested in the idea of it, or they just, you know, or it's done differently. Like you have, you know, like a serial killer or a killer that kills and mutilates a dead corpse. But, you know, very non-organically, do you ever find, like, you know, and that's what got me into necromantic and originally, and kind of led me into this. It was, you know, it wasn't someone they killed, it wasn't someone that they hunted, it was just something they found. And it's just like it plays a whole different mind perception of what it is. Because yeah, you see post-mortem stuff in movies sometimes, like you know, it's whatever, we've seen that. But this is different. This is something totally different. It shows the full perception and it romanticizes it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's always fun to play with that and kind of, I guess, yeah, people see necromantic, which is kind of the group of people that would probably see this and just see like, oh, just another kind of thing like that, but kind of push it a little bit more or just view it a little bit differently. That's a little bit more explicit, and that kind of gets the like, whoa type of feeling. And that's kind of what I like to do, is just get that whoa factor to like, let's bump it up a notch, you know, and
Push
it
the
really worked out.
see where the exact limits of that camera can take and what that film can be. Because you know, film can go very, very dark and deep. You know, there's no real limit to it. It's
Hmm.
just a limit of being accepted, if people will watch it, if you'll get arrested, canceled, banned, whatever happens. But
That's
you
why you
know,
make. That's why you make it, and before you send it or finish, you go fuck it, and just hit send.
well, no, at the end of the day, it's still art, though. Like, if I was to draw a
It is.
very deep, dark painting, that's considered art. If I'm to write a deep, dark song, that's art. I've heard songs with the horrendous lyrics, you know, with deep meaning and dark, twisted things, but it's art. It's portraying a message, and movies do the same, whether it's meaningful art, whether it's made just for the art. You know, not every, you know, I'm big into, like, you know, art house films. This movie's made to for a certain reason. Movies like Irreversible, there's really no reason for that movie to exist except somebody wanted to play with it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think it's a lot of the independence and a lot of the, I guess, I mean, Irreversible, I wouldn't call it low budget, but it definitely gave it a a sense of, you know, we don't have to adhere to like the rest of the mainstream. Let's push the envelopes a little bit, and they did, and it has its super fans and it has people who absolutely hate it, which is, you know, it's I think both are fine to have. It's when nobody makes any noise, I think you have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you don't want to just be one of the regular films that kind of get thrown in the shuffle with all the other films that came out that year. At least be talked about for a reason. Now, have you always wanted to make films? Is that something you've always wanted to do?
Actually, not really. I was trying to actually remember the first time that I actually wanted to make films or stuff like that, and I always thought that, you know, films were mainly like, if you watch like behind the scenes of Jaws or have behind the scenes of The Exorcist or something like that, and, you know, people are kind of sitting in the chair while, you know, there's like 20, 50 people around them kind of making everything work. I thought films were always that, like, you had to work yourself up to like a CEO level to kind of direct a film or sit on the chair and direct. And then I was on a trauma set and I was like, oh, never mind. Like, it's like you can do this. Like, so then that was like, oh, let me try to, put my foot into there. And it started with just like slashers and normal backyard making movies with friends. And then it just kind of progressed as I learned how to kind of hold multiple hats. And then I was like, all right, it's the only thing paying me, so let's just focus on that.
Let's go with it. And I mean, let's face it, it's not a bad thing. It's not, I me myself just getting into like trying to make films in the last year or so, investing in, good quality cameras and sound equipment and other things, taking, my short indie films that I was doing prior and bringing them into a cinematic format, adding sounding backings and all of that, color grading it, and trying to learn as much of like the different things I can learn, even though like I know I got a project coming up that I'm going to work and I'm probably only going to have to do two things. I want to just at least know basics of everything, so I know, hey,
Sure.
this is what this is, this is what that is.
Yeah,
But
but if you open that can of worms, I have to ask Sam, during your journey, developing making these movies, have you ever dealt with issues like, people who were saying that they would help out and work for you, Sam, and then all of a sudden when it's their time to step up, they just like fall flat, and the disappointment in that. Do you ever experience that?
I tried not to for a bit of it. A lot of the films, especially like the current one, Exhumed Cadaver Lover, that like stuff like that. I I know how I am, and I can uh I guess understand and what's the word? I can make myself like responsible for everything, but I can't really trust in a way that everybody's going to do the same thing that I will. So I try to keep it to just me and like an effects artist maybe, or usually have one of the talents. If they have a friend, usually that's like their opposite. They'll like bring their friend in that they feel comfortable with, so they can kind of help out. And then that's when I'll like, hey, can you help me out with this, or can you like do the effects while I do this, or pour this when I tell you. I That's kind of a big reason why I don't bring people into certain sets, because it's like, okay, we got to be there at 10. We are shooting from 10 to 6, and it's like, well, I can be there for an hour, and it's like, well, it's not really like, then I can kind of do it myself. Like, so I try to like not count on as much
minimize all
people,
that.
pretty much minimize the work and keep it under my hat. But then lately I've been actually with bigger cast and working on more, not mainstream films, but bigger films, into more independent films that I can screen more. And everybody I've kind of had on that has been on their game, and usually people who don't, I'm nice and respectful, but I kind of don't reach out back out to them again, just because like, yeah, it's just that aspect of making sure everybody is like on the same wavelength, and sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. So I mean, um I'll kind of remove it, if possible, and I'll just do the work.
Yeah, and it's as much as it sucks, but it can be done. You can play many roles on a set.
Mhm.
Um, no, but it is sometimes, people put in invest time or into people. And it's like sometimes it doesn't pan out. It's like it hinders a project, but that's a great way to look at it. You
Bayside,
go in,
Bayside. Excuse me, I got something stuck in my throat. Bayside.
you go in there and you minimize, what you have to do or what your risk would even be.
Yeah.
You got your main actors and actresses and people that are going to show up that that are going to show, and everybody else is just, up to you or very close. And there's not going to be a whole lot of things that if they don't show up, that the film won't get made. Now let me ask you, now you sent me screeners. Have you shown these at film festivals and such yet?
Yeah. Well, a lot of the film fest that kind of screen the graphic films, they're in different countries, which I personally haven't gone to, but they've like played in the Netherlands, Italy, Germany in a theater. But I recently started I guess a film fest, if you could say it. It's a day long thing that we did this for the first time this year, where we showed one shorts of mine, which is the ECL, exhumed cadaver lover, and then a found footage film, and then mixed in with like two other features and a bunch of other shorts that we did in LA. So that's kind of been my extent of being there and being a part of Film Fest, is now me just again being in charge of it, just because not many people want to screen it or show it unless it's like in a different country. And then it's like, well, do I fly out? Do I not fly out? Um, but no, yeah, recently it's just mainly been overseas, and now I'm trying to like bring
Start the
films of mine
festivals.
and similar type films over to LA now. So
Well, I
yes and
think
no.
because Necromantic was a German film and not an American film, it plays kind of a role. Like, I don't know, it's just something about American horror films. They're always just, they end up turning into action films. There's always a superhero, there's always a good ending.
Yeah.
And the foreign films, they just keep it to a level of realism. Bad shit happens and it's over. That's it. There is no superhero saving the day. Speak No Evil, the two differences in the versions, you know, the original and the American version, you can see there, just the endings alone. It's like much more bleak and dark in the foreign versions. And I respect that. I enjoy
Yeah.
that. I think American cinema is sometimes too cinematic, if that makes sense. It's too much
America.
blockbuster.
Yeah. I think it's mainly trending out here in LA and Hollywood and the bigger budget films. I think it's they see what makes the money, and then they try to twist every script to be that. And it even goes with the foreign market, where it's like if they want to be here, they have to kind of do the same thing. And then you look at like the lower budget ones, and it's like they're completely doing their own art house thing and their own version of stuff,
Yeah,
which
but I
is
mean, like
that's
I said,
where
like
that fits.
even like Martyrs is another good example. Once
Yeah.
America got its hands on it, they ruined the film. The film sucked compared to the original.
Yeah, that's we've done that a couple times with Old Boy. Martyrs was the other one, and then I think they're trying to do it with there's like a new The Raid they're trying to do and
Oh
turn that
yeah,
even to more, which is not horror, but it's like that worked over there. It's completely different over there and won everybody over. But let's try to bring it over here, and then it's like, well, let's add our like American flair to it and try to make it even bigger. And then it usually just falls flat.
pretty much. I mean, that's what I seem to notice the trend is. So I can see why a film like yours would trend out of the country, just because people are more open to shit. I think too, when it comes to horror, it's not just so one sided. Everybody's open to like multiple vast varieties because they have multiple laws and different things. People believe in different beliefs. That's why I like folk horror a lot too, because they'll
Hmm.
go to a different area in the world and just play off that belief system.
Yeah. And also with like the other countries and other foreign countries, there's not very much a taboo with nudity and sex
No.
compared is to here, where it's like they'll put someone getting shot for real live on the news, but it's a major super big fine if like someone's topless for a couple seconds, which is mind blowing to me.
Yeah.
Um, so
Bastards.
yeah, so it's kind of like
Stuff's legal
what
as
are we
long
doing
as
here?
everybody has clothing, pretty much. But no, we this country does have a taboo with sex. It's just weird. Compared to other countries, especially like even like French and other people, they're just open about their sexuality, so it doesn't become such a thing. And in the horror movies, it just doesn't even matter. It's just part of it.
Yeah, yeah. No, it definitely is. Yeah, yeah.
Where I feel like in some parts of in the American movies, yeah, it was there for a while, but now I feel like now it gets interjected just for the point of, hey, let's just see a sex scene or let's see a nudity scene.
Yeah, they're like trying their hand at stuff, but like don't really know why the like maybe foreign films work and these ones kind of don't. Yeah, I think it's just because it's so foreign to them. It's so like we don't know how to play with this thing that has been around forever, but it's like new to us due to laws and stuff like that. So again, them just trying to trying to jump on bandwagons. It sort of seems like.
Now, these films, you produce them yourself as well, or do you got like a production company behind it?
I'd say half and half. Usually it's out of my pocket, or then I have some people who are just supporters that constantly, want to see the next thing and they'll toss funds. Lately, I've had a producer from the UK, under Carl Morgan, who's been doing my more screenable films. So, like, we did a found footage film, um, and that one's kind of just been different than what I normally do. And then we just finished shooting a werewolf slasher, which is not adults, but there is this exploitation
Yeah, I saw
part
the
of that.
trailer for that one. That looks fun.
Yeah, and try to do something a little bit different.
Well, I think that's also a cool part of film is that you don't have to stick with the same even subgenre or even same genre. You can go all over the place. Look at Peter Jackson. He started off
Yeah.
in like weird ass horror and ended up in like fucking blockbuster films. You can take it and just take your stories and bring them to different parts of horror or bring different parts of cinema.
Yeah. And I've tried to aim to do that with like some other ones. I've done a drama about a girl trying to be an actor in Hollywood and stuff like that. And there is, a little pitfall where people kind of want you to do your wheelhouse. But as somebody who just like likes to create or goes crazy, I try to go into different wheelhouses, even bring some horror elements into something that I've never seen before. But yeah, I try to branch out sometimes. I don't really like to kind of make the same stuff over and over again. And I did for a little bit, but I try not to right now.
Yeah. Have you always lived on the West Coast?
Yes, I'm from here, originally, and the farthest police, the farthest I kind of moved to was Vegas last year, and then I came back to LA. Just because I was just working out here more than I was in Vegas. So I've always been out on this side, and I've had actors from like the East Coast and stuff like that coming out here to shoot. But I think I've shot like maybe two films one in New York and one elsewhere. I don't really remember. Maybe it wasn't even finished, but I think I shot one in New York, but mainly they've all been like in California or Nevada.
And do you feel like there's a lot like a good market out there? Because like, well, obviously LA, everybody wants to be kind of part of some kind of film, right?
For the most part, yeah. There's a lot of obviously actors in LA that want to be a part of stuff, and a lot of similar adult talents out here. They're in Nevada. Those are kind of the two big ones. But yeah, I don't really see like I don't. I know there are people that shoot in the Midwest, and or they're out in like states I've never been to, and they've been there the whole life creating a production, but I've never been there or reached out to stuff people like that. I know some people have, but it's kind of hard to bring people out here and in the budgets we make and like shoot over a course of a couple days and stuff like that. So mainly, yeah, I just kind of stick to
What would you say your average budget is on a film?
it. Like Exhumed Cadaver Lover was about 1,000, maybe $800, and then the bigger budget ones, like the found footage one, was around 12,000. So they're low, but I get people being like, it doesn't look like, I don't know how you pulled it off. Like, I did an adult slasher film about a girl who is a photographer in San Francisco who's like just decides to release her inner serial killer. And I shot that in LA and in San Francisco. And I just went over it again and I shot that for six. And I don't entirely even know how I shot that for six. Like, it just made no sense to me how I was able to pull that off. But for the most part, it's around that frames from anywhere from like 4 to 10 grand, I would say, is the majority.
I think in directing and filmmaking, it's like the only place acceptable. It's okay to go cheaper because you can go cheaper and still have it have quality. If
Yeah.
you're creative enough, it can find a way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things out here that were built for film that obviously just gets left abandoned, or it's like an inner circle, mention that hey, you can shoot here. Or I know a person that will be like down to let you use this. So there's a lot more to get away with. I mean, there's probably way more out like in like Montana or something like that that you can just kind of maybe shoot a wilderness film and not be bothered. But shockingly, there's a lot out here still too.
Well, I
That
mean, we
just,
could go to Victor's house. He's got like 16 acres, and we could just make a
there you
film on
go.
his land, found
That's
footage or not.
that's something I would want. I've been trying to do is find a location that I can just bring actors and build sets and do that. And I almost did it, but we're still waiting on it now.
I could do that. Do it like Cannibal Holocaust. Send me on a ship. Send me with a couple of rails, and I'll come back with a film.
That is actually like a dream project to kind of just go out in a different country or into the jungle and shoot something that is like,
Like
oh
totally
wow,
organic, right? Like
yeah, no
like
green screen, no CGI, no running around in front of screens, just real do it.
so you prefer the practical effects over the VFX in
Hmm.
general.
Yeah, I mean, I do like animation. I do like CGI when it's built for the film. Obviously, it's kind of hard to do a Transformers film with, like you can do it practically, but it's won't look good. But I understand and like that. I don't like when they try to bring that and like do something like CGI blood. That doesn't really make any sense to me. Why somebody would do that?
Yeah, yeah. You see it, I think, more in probably action films because it's so rapidly boom, boom, boom. Where in like horror films, they want to like linger on the kill because the kill means
Hmm.
something. It's not just a bunch of people getting shot or blown up. Those kills are all meant to be meaningful, so people think about them later and be like, "Well, that was a good kill." And if you see that kill being like that final kill scene, it's fake blood. You're just that movie's ruined.
Yeah.
Um, No, I always like practical effects. I mean, being, a fan of 80s horrors and 90 horror growing up in the era too. Before CGI was really big, just it just plays like a little bit of a spookier role. And I think it gets into the creative mind too, because like how can I make this work? How can I make this look real? And how can I make the camera work with it rather than just adding it post production?
Yeah, I that's kind of what I like about it the most is finding the angles. How do I want it to look without actually using computer graphics to make it look degraded? Can I degrade it myself? Like that's kind of like doing that all in camera is just like the more fun aspect of it. So I do appreciate that. It's always fun.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think so. And you said you did a found footage film. Want to share what that was about?
So yeah, I did hold for airplane, as I would say. Uh, they fly like right over my house. But no, I did a vampire, like a similar film, like Exhumed Cadaver Lover, but a vampire one. I shot it in LA, and over the years, it kind of grew into like a. I don't want to toot my own horn and say it's like a cult thing within like the community I'm in, but it definitely grew like a fan base. And we aim to do like a feature length, a secondary, or like a retelling almost of it. And ultimately I was moving and I wasn't really paying attention to like getting the movie done. I was going to shoot it on the East Coast actually. And it kind of just like melted, and I was just like, well, I don't want to rush something or make somebody shoot a project that they're not ready for, or like I'm not even ready for, and we have a bunch of cast and crew. So I just kind of like discussed with the lead, like they felt like it wasn't enough time, and I felt like like we're kind of doing this in a small little time frame. So I was just like, let's I rather just do this right another time. So we ended up just swapping the idea to LA and doing this weird slasher found footage about a group of vloggers or YouTubers that want to go jump on the like the ghost hunting train or the paranormal hunting thing, and they get locked into a warehouse that's supposedly haunted, and there's a like killer in there that's rocking a body camera trying to make his own video for himself. And that was fun because it was completely different. I wasn't holding the camera like I normally was. I was actually like just kind of directing from afar, and it was like a big theater play, and we shot it over the course of like one full day and two pickup days. And yeah, we showed that one at the film fest this last year, and people seem to kind of dig that different turn in
Well, it can play to a much
movies I'm
broader
doing.
audience. It can play to a broader audience, and that's what it comes down to. Like I've talked to people like, like Fred Vogel, and yes, August Underground's a great film, but it only plays to a certain audience. And,
Yeah,
he might to go out and make other films. Otherwise, people only know him for one film, and that film can't be shown everywhere.
that's true. I do agree. Fred is. I've talked to Fred a little bit. I'm friends with the distributor who just released August Underground on Blu-ray, and
But
it's
compared to
definitely,
like Final Interview, it's like totally two different films.
or even Redson Tower, which is my favorite from Fred Vogel. That one's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you can see the the similarities and like their little like the tickets of their collection, like the stuff that they do throughout. It has its landmarks, but it looks like a completely more mainstream indie film, and I like that one a lot. It just shows their diversity. But even with the final interview, that's even way like different than what anybody would really think that he would
Yeah,
come
you
up
would
with.
you would
So
say you would think it was two different directors just because of the way the horror is told, the suspense compared to this brutality.
yeah, it also shows him as a director that's can do is
Mature.
not like a one trick pony.
No, and he definitely, like I would say, matured. I think as most directors do, as they keep working on their films, they season themselves and they season their work, and it gets, more and more, not mainstream, but more and more. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It just gets more open. More people can see it. It's. I think the first projects all become these projects that we all desire to do that might only be good for us. It might not make sense to anybody else, and everybody else might hate it. But
Hmm.
it's been in our head forever, and we want to get it out. But as you get older and you get, more into it, you start to see projects for what they are, and get out there and do other things.
Yeah, and you also kind of can pick apart things later on and be like, I kind of did that before. Don't necessarily need to do it again. So it definitely becomes like a new person directing a film just because they're trying things they haven't tried before. So.
Yeah, I like that though, and it's nice to see. I mean, I always like to watch, especially with whatever film, but see a couple of directors' films because there is some diversity, especially when you see like these great arcs or whatever, and sometimes they'll get known for this one film, but they'll have like three other great films out there that just it's in a different genre, is not as known as much.
Hmm. It's yeah, true. Um, yeah, there's a few directors I'm trying to think of that are just like very different, but like watching Robert Rodriguez's like early films to his more graphic films, then he turns around and does kids films is kind of like a thing I look to where it's like, well, you don't have to kind of stick in one genre. Exhibit A.
Yeah, no, definitely. Now let me ask you, growing up, what kind of films did you like to watch? What kind of like influenced you that way?
Shockingly, I didn't really watch much of any graphic films growing up. I think the most graphic would probably be maybe some of the like more violent films of Tarantino, more like Kill Bill, into that. And then it wasn't until I saw, I don't remember the name of the film, but it was more of a gore film, and I was like pushed myself to watch it just to kind of like break barriers. I think I was with a cousin who was like older, and I wanted to be like, hey, like I'm not afraid and stuff like that, or I'm not freaked out by it. And then I just started going down a route of like Italian horror and like giallos, and I just
Yeah, you
kind
gotta
of,
love the Jalos. That's great
yeah, I
stuff.
kept picking that up and going back and kind of watching like making ofs and stuff like that. So it wasn't until I was like maybe 15, 16 that I was like watching Suspiria and Inferno and stuff like that, that I was like, ooh, there's like something else here. And then I would dive deeper by reading either Wikipedia pages or reviews or parental guidances on IMDb. Like like something like August Underground, like you couldn't find it then
Yeah.
unless you had the money to or knew the people. So I would read it and like kind of imagine what it would be like because I can't watch it, and I was just like, huh. And I would build it up so much in my head that I would, when I watched it, sometimes it was either equal or a little bit let down or something like that. But I kind of built my interest and tolerance more in like reading, which is weird.
Yeah, no, and that's another form of horror is the written horror, you know. A lot of movies start off as books or novels or short
Yeah.
stories. I mean, look at Stephen King, you know. And somebody pieced them all together beautifully with that new like series, you know. He put all his work together and did a really nice job with it, I thought. At least with
Speaking
that
about
first season.
work, how long did it take to get your head completely tattooed like that? And how painful was it? Yeah, how?
I
What
didn't
made
even
you like?
realize
What
that
made
was
you wake up
tattooed.
one day? It's like I'm gonna get a tattoo on my head because just the pain factor alone, knowing that it's just all bone. It's insane.
Surprisingly, it's not one of my more painful areas. I thought it would be. I just had opportunities with a friend who's a tattoo artist. His name's Thomas Decay, and he liked my films and my stuff. So we kind of worked out trades to do it and film it and stuff like that. So it was so far it's 3 sessions, the top, the side, and then third session. So I've done them in just 3 sessions. I think anywhere from 5 to 7 hours.
Wow. Vic, you have the same haircut. You should do that.
Just without the tats.
It's fun. It's I think it lends a little bit of that's
Oh,
my
tattoos always fun. I
therapy.
almost have a
I
half
didn't
sleeve.
even realize. I don't even know. I saw that. I thought that was top was hair just cut short. I didn't realize that that was a skull. That's awesome.
I try. I mean, I was always into tattoos even before horror and movies, and I kind of was able. Now I'm able to kind of I work for myself, so it's like I can kind of look how I want to look. So
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, society has such a judgment on things. It's like you always sacrifice what you want to do until you become self-made, and then it's like, yeah, okay, now I can just do whatever.
yeah, it sucks for some people that it takes them a long while to get that. Then they start. I'm younger to be able to do that. So, I'm kind of lucky in that way, but we'll see down the line if things change.
Well, hopefully there'll be more acceptance down the line, and people won't care about such frugal things.
That's the hope.
I mean, because at the end of the day, what you have on written on your body has nothing to do with what you do at work.
True, and it kind of for me it kind of fits, I guess, because a lot of my tattoos are horror, and then like they see it and they're like, "Oh, you're for sure, you're like for real about horror, huh?" And I'm like, I guess. So it's a little bit of I guess, a good business card at certain points.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good talk point, good starting point, good everything. No, I tattooed my legs when I was like 20. I just went to town one day, got Amazon, got a tattoo gun, ink, and just sleeved
I,
everything on my legs. Didn't hurt.
I, I've done that too. I played around with colors and tattooed, and I was like, I've seen black full sleeves. How about green? And I just did green all over my arm.
Yeah, no, and I went through the stage for sure. Some of it I still like. Some of them like I might cover it up. Some of it's like fuck it, it's on my legs. I don't see it half the time anyways. I'm wearing pants.
Yeah.
Um, I made sure not to do my hands 'cause I didn't want to sit there because knowing myself, I'd change it like every week, trying to do something I change quickly. Um, but no, again, that's another form of expression, another form of art, another form of telling a story, even. You
Yeah,
know,
true. There's yeah.
some tattoos are full stories in themselves in one image.
Yeah, there's actually been obviously looking at tattoos and looking for stuff. There's been some stuff that's popped up, and I'm like, kind of wish I went the full like story, full body, full body sleeve type design. And then I'm like, well, a lot of the tattoos I got like growing with age and interest. So I was like, yeah, it's its own story, I guess. But there has been times where I was like, I wish I kind of did it a full blown.
Yeah, no, I get that. Um, but yeah, so then you did, I saw the trailer for the werewolf. Did you write? And have I take it you've written all these yourself as well.
Yeah, for the most part. There's probably been a few that I've like had a friend who's a better writer, and like if it's longer or like something like the werewolf, the man of wolf film, it's something that I would probably pass to like a friend who's like can spruce up dialogue or is just better. It just I have a friend who just writes and reads all day, so it's like, hey, take a look at this and spruce this up or spruce that up. And some of them don't care for credit because obviously the films are like grotesque, and I'll put like a stand-in name for them, or they just don't care, and they just want to be a part of something. But yeah, for the most part, I write it all. But if not, I'll have somebody do like who's a little bit better, like do the dialogue, and then it's kind of up to the actor if they want to like say it exactly how it is or trail off a little bit. So there's a little input from everybody.
So you don't just make them like, I'm the director, you do what I say. This is a script. That's it. There's a little leeway on your set.
No, I mean everybody's free to do whatever they want technically, as long even if it's to the point where it's like maybe what I wrote and what changed during pre-production or going into or even changed on the day that we couldn't even do that scene or do those dialogues. I will just be like, hey, we have to just get to this part in the scene to make sense in the transition to elsewhere. Like, since we can't do that anymore, like improv all the way through. And that's kind of a big choice of mine is um, at least at minimum, you have to have some kind of experience with improv because a lot of sometimes goes off script, and we got to figure out how to do with what you say or make it make sense later, or I didn't know what happened later is now affected now, so we have to kind of just work out what we're
But
doing to
sometimes
make
I
sense
feel like
later.
that improv act and looks, if it's done right, looks natural. It just feels natural. It's more natural in some aspects because it's
Hmm.
naturally doing things.
Yeah,
I went to a
especially.
well, I was gonna say I went to a panel recently. They were talking about Blair Witch, and like most of the days they were just given like, "You're going east." The next person was told they're going west, and they're like, "You guys fight it out." And that's
Yeah.
all they were told, and they like just go with it and make it natural.
Yeah, and I do like the found footage film, A Whisper, a Scream, and a Cut to Black. That one, I there was just marks for them to hit. Like sound is made so one person who's more freaked out than the other goes and checks it. That will be Jessica, and give me 2 or 3 minutes of fighting with her of why she should go check that, or like come up with something. And since everybody in that cast was such close friends, all from the same like acting class too, they just were playing like I think it's people reviewed it and it was like this is like the most like group of friends that actually look like they are a group of friends. And I was like, well, they are, and they kind of just improv everything in between to give me that like 60 minutes of them in a warehouse. But yeah, they just hit marks.
Oh, that's great, though. That is great. And I like, like I said, just seeing it all come together too. What has astonished you the most about making films? What is like, just is anything ever you've done is just like blown you back and be like, damn, I didn't like this is mind blowing.
A lot of the receiving of films of like a film like mainly like film fests who select it and then they're like, oh, it's showing in a theater like in Berlin. I've never been to Berlin or Germany. I am a little bit of German, so it's kind of like, oh, cool, like something of mine made an impact over there enough to either one have fans or two have it screen over there. So that's always the fun like uh thing that gets me shocked more than anything. That or like somebody wants to distribute it in a different country or something like that. Those are like, oh, it's good enough.
Yeah, no, that's awesome though. I mean, that must be a kind of a rush. Even just like you said, you never been there, but here it is, your film being shown foreign country. And cinemas, I think it's a universal language, so people just doesn't matter. People, it's a universal language. Like I said, I've watched all sorts of foreign films, subtitle films, silent films. It's just it's a film for everybody. Um, and you can watch it in another country and still get the same story, still get the same concept. You don't even need to dub it, you know.
No, that's true. There's a lot of the Italian and giallo films I watch, and I wouldn't even really change the audio or like even put on subtitles. I would just try to follow how the visual storytelling worked, or like how good I can still conceive the message without even knowing what they're talking about, which I should know now since my wife's Italian. So
Yeah. No, I'm Italian, so I understood a lot of it. But you know, a lot of times I would watch the original language just because you get a sense of the characters, you know, the voice of what you know who the characters was and the actors and actresses. Um, because sometimes the voices are totally different, and I like to hear the original people that were cast in the film.
Which is unique because a lot of them are like, oh, this is like a known Italian actor, and then we brought this like New York guy that like is an actor from New York over, and then we're dubbing him in Italian, and it's like it gave me. I was like, dude, how does production even work like that? Where you the director may not speak English, but you have somebody translating to someone who's in New York to give the same scenes to someone who's speaking Italian, but then we're gonna dub him over anyways. So it's like another
Yeah,
another step, and I was like, oh, that's cool to me, like how like I guess that gets completed or even shot.
no, definitely, definitely. And now, got a few more questions. Do you have any other plans coming up? Any other films in the works?
Yes, we're screening the werewolf slasher in LA. Hopefully that gives us a budget so we can do a art house adult film called Stiff Kitten about a girl who's kind of going deeper into the adult scene as she develops a disease that is kind of going to make her not be able to do that anymore. Sort of like a last ditch. I'm going to be free and me before something takes over. Um, really want to like do a callback to like the 70s, 80s aspect of how adult films are made and were made. And then we are doing a cyberpunk film later in the year, maybe early in the year. Just because a buddy of mine likes cyberpunk a lot and I like cyberpunk films. So I was like, I haven't done one. So we ended up working out a budget and are currently writing the script for it. So it should be like a mix between Tetsu the Iron Man and a guinea pig film.
Well, that's
Uh,
a good mix.
yeah, something, in my wheelhouse, but let's step out a little bit, and then do it in like our version of it rather than try to, you know, make our American version of Iron Man. We try to, just take aspects of a cyberpunk type film and kind of make it our own in a way.
Yeah, yeah. What I don't even know if it's cyberpunk, but I would say what is it like 16 tons, I think, or
I don't think I've heard
13
that. See that
tons.
one.
No, I got it. It's like in a cyberpunk world. It's this guy that like dies in a fire, but he gets healed with like people's tongues, and
Uh,
it's a weird ass cyberpunk kind of futuristic horror film.
that's something I have to look up now.
I have to see. And now it's gonna bother me if I got the number right. Um, I always botch the number. Yeah, 16. It came out in 99.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, that's maybe I've heard a different name of it.
Yeah, the lives of an assassin and her hacker girlfriend is shattered when they cross paths with a rogue cop holed up inside an S&M hotel, and it's like in a futuristic
Oh yeah,
world.
that's that's
Stephen
on par with
McCraw.
those.
Yeah, it was
Are
in
you
That's
sure
Stephen
you're not
McCraw.
making this up?
What is it, Vic?
Are you sure you're not making this up?
No, I showed you a scene of it. Right in the beginning, the guy's getting head, and then he just pulls the trigger. Enough is
yep.
enough. Remember
You,
the
you,
S&M scene?
this is what call the things you showed me. You show me a Siberian film that said baby porn.
Yep.
Oh,
You show me
Serbian film.
that. Yeah,
Yep.
you showed me a guy that was like wired like horse tranquilizers or crack. Decides I saw a woman in half. He's fucking her.
Yes, that was the same film.
Serbian film. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like
I
you
sent you the clip though. It was just the beginning. It's an S&M scene, but no, he's like a weird kind of twisted cop, you know. But he's been burned, and it's cyberpunkish, futuristic.
Oh
I
yeah. Let's
don't.
check that one out.
Sometimes they don't do there's not enough of those kind of films. So like the ones that are out there are just very kind of rare, or they don't seem to really do a lot of that subgenre in horror or in film itself.
Yeah.
Just don't see it.
Yeah. Especially out here, there's no like twist over or change over to like a blending of genres. It's usually just one and like aspects of another. It's never like a comedy that's gone through horror that ends in a drama. It's like, which I like those. I like the mix of it.
Oh yeah, I mean sometimes you feel all the emotions in one film, and that's great. You know,
Yeah.
it's life. You don't want to just feel scared. You might feel scared, sad, laugh at times. That this comedy, even in the darkest of times, and I think that's what gets people through is the comedy. So sometimes throwing a little comedy in the horror, it works very well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. I try to push that limit with the werewolf one. We try to make that one as funny but as gory and kind of creepy as possible.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I do thank you for your time and coming on and talking, and I do hope
Yes, thank you,
all
sir.
the
Happy
success
holidays.
with that. Where can people? I see you have your website down there, samhell.com. Is that where people can find like where your films can be seen and such?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. A lot of the films, just like the short you saw, are explicit, and there's not many streaming sites or anything that will host it. So we're stuck to Blu-ray and DVD and sometimes VHS for limited editions. But samhell.com, 1L, SAMHEL, what in the samhell.com. And then I own a small distribution label that people can find, like the found footage film or the Hollywood actor film, and that's bizarretheater.com. So either or, Bizarre Theater is a little bit tamer. Sam Hell is more extreme and
I'm gonna have to
crazy
check them both
culty
out.
type
Shoot.
films.
I'm a physical
Yeah,
media collector. I don't like all this streaming crap because it's one of these days the internet isn't going to work and nothing works. You need the physical
exactly.
media, so
Yeah,
I'm into
and
all that.
especially with everybody, all the people buying each other up and just being one service now, it sort of seems like it's going to become DirecTV again. So,
Yeah,
and they don't
it's
have
like
it. They don't have it.
spiraling. It's crazy. But thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on.
I appreciate
And
it.
I said hopefully I see your movie screen out here in the East Coast sometime. That'd be great.
We're aiming for it. Probably in a couple months, actually.
Awesome. Sweet deal. Thank you everybody for watching at home. Stay spooky.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
Like and subscribe.